Core Payment Gateway. Integrate in as little as 30 minutes. Conditions apply. The time by Sagicor Bank is...
It is now 7 o'clock and it's time for the Morning Watch.
Listeners to Love 101 FM are advised that the views and opinions expressed in this program are not necessarily those of Love 101 FM.
Hello, and welcome to the Morning Watch on Love 101 FM. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. A special welcome to our listeners on love101.org, and if you're overseas and on the move, U.S. listeners can access us at 712-832-8001. And if you're in the UK, 0330-332-6541, or join us via the Love 101 FM app that can be downloaded from the Google Play Store or the Apple Store. You can also join us on Love 101 FM Facebook and YouTube Live. In the first watch today, Fate of Jamaican Gospel Reggae. And in the second watch, Telling Our Own Stories. The Right, that's W-R-I-T-E, Caribbean Strategy. Hope you got it. The Right, W-R-I-T-E, Caribbean Strategy. Our social media question we ask, what story about your life would you like written into a script for a movie or TV show, and who would play you? Please share your responses on our Love 101 FM Facebook page and YouTube channel, and also on WhatsApp 876-997-3125 using the hashtag The Morning Watch. We'll share your responses later on in the program, but before all of that, here's our quote.
So our I quote this morning is an integrity quote. Our deeds determine us as much as we determine our deeds. That one there from George Eliot.
Profound statement. Good morning, Deidre.
Good morning, Dr. Toussaint. How are you this morning?
I am doing well, and I trust the same for you.
Yes, I am doing well, giving thanks.
You know, DJ, the last two songs you played were from what, 1967, you said?
Yes, before I were born.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you, where were you in 1967?
I don't think my parents met each other yet.
Not even a thought, eh?
Not even a thought.
Oh boy. The first watch will be back after this break.
After the first year, your little one's brain continues to develop rapidly. NAN3, with its advanced formula, specially designed for children from 1 year, keeps their development on track, helps nurture their possibilities with the exclusive combination of optimized protein, HMO, probiotics, and DHA. NAN3, nurturing their possibilities. NAN3 is not a breast milk substitute. It is specially suited to children from 1 year onward.
Want a birthday gift? Oreo is celebrating 110 years and giving you the gift. From August 2, buy any 5 Oreo products, expiration no earlier than August 2, and you could unwrap and have a chance to win over 1 million in cash and prizes. You have 3 ways to enter. Upload receipts to OreoPromotions.com, mail entries to Oreo 110 birthday promotion and send to PO Box 2000 CSO, or drop entries along with contact information in boxes at participating stores. Grand draw October 14, 2022. Oreo, stay playful. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting Gaming and Lotteries Act.
We all have a part to play, even if it's just staying home. And Fontana Pharmacy is here to help you stay safe. Visit fontanapharmacy.com to shop from a wide variety of products and let us deliver them to you. Need to refill a prescription? WhatsApp us. The numbers are all on our website. Try Fontana Pharmacy online shopping today. Conditions apply.
Well, if you want buy appliances for your home with the quality high and the price low, get it on Habashko. Get it on Habashko. Basco, be everything what you need. Basco, quality service guaranteed and a Basco. Basco, a store that gives you more. Yeah, Basco. Get furniture for your house, bedding and everything for your kitchen, rugs, mugs, and more at Basco. The store that gives you more. Basco.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Now, when you read the Gleaner headline that said, California band ends Marley's 140-week reign on Billboard Reggae Album Chart, did you wonder if Bob Marley can be booted from the charts and by a non-Jamaican band at that? And so we're asking, what of reggae gospel music and our reggae gospel artists? If secular reggae has lost its dominance, as some suggest, what would be the fate of reggae gospel music? Well, to answer these and other related questions, we have online Mr. Patrick Kitson, singer, guitarist, songwriter, producer, and the founder of Change Gospel Group. And we also have, well, do we have online our next guest as yet?
Yes, we do.
All right, the Reverend Dr. Stevenson Samuels, senior pastor of the Waltham Park New Testament Church of God. Good morning to you both.
Good morning. Good morning. Pastor Sam, good morning.
Right, it's a joy to have you both on with us as we discuss this intriguing and interesting topic. By the way, what are your initial thoughts on that Gleaner article that I just read in the preamble? Beginning with you, Mr. Kitson.
And I read it, and there is nothing that the church has been doing as far as promoting gospel reggae. So we are kind of out at sea where that is concerned. That's my 2 cents there.
We're out at sea, you said?
Yes.
What do you mean by that, Mr. Kitson?
Well, no, it's a Jamaican term, boy, out at sea, you know. So we just out there. We're not involved with the gospel reggae. We're not involved. We don't produce many songs. We don't celebrate reggae month. So the church has an issue with it for many years, and it has kind of affected us as musicians in Christendom who born and growing at the reggae church.
All right. We're going to talk more about it. Dr. Samuels, Reverend Samuels, what's your initial thoughts when you read or heard of that article?
Actually, I was trying to get on to you before, so I wasn't hearing your reading.
Sorry.
I'm very, very sorry about that, but I was just trying to prepare myself for your connection.
Yeah. Okay. Well, it was about Bob Marley, in terms of being top of the charts, and then non-Jamaican group or artist was able to top that. Yes.
Right. Okay, it is that article. All right.
That one.
Yeah.
Mm.
Okay. I thought it was something in relation to church and so on.
We're going to dovetail. We're going to dovetail into that.
All right. So let me address that. Okay. So I think that when reggae music started in Jamaica, we were, it was a thing. It was a thing. It came out of the heart of the people, the culture of the people. It was new and fresh on the global market, but it was really a true representation of the formation of a people out of its struggle and out of its the two cultures it was coming from, Africa and to a lesser extent Europe. So it was something, and it was hard to copy. It was difficult. You can't pronounce the words like we do because it's just our natural way. The language was different. Now it's a different thing. The world has heard it. The world is used to it. So if we're not going to innovate now, it's not going to be fresh and new. If we're not going to market the thing, it's not going to be number one on the charts anymore. Other persons are now able to cut and paste it, to copy it, to study it, and to add components to it to make it into a new and fresh product. We are kind of just here. We just sing reggae music and I smoke ganja. Yeah, I tell you. We just smoke up a thing.
Oh boy, yes.
We don't put it into a lab and test it and say, all right, we could do it this new way and so on. We're not connecting enough with thought. So yeah, I see some School of Music guys involved, but I'm not sure that the School of Music is engaged enough and given enough room, maybe by governance, to impact the music in a very scientific way. I think what is happening is that the pop of the music is impacting the guys at the school, but the reflection of the school is not impacting the industry and the practice. Let me stop there.
Yeah, right. A lot to say. Mr. Kitson,
Yes,
when you think of the early days of Jamaican reggae gospel music, what are some of the outstanding memories you have? What are some of the things that linger with you in those early days?
Oh, as a little boy, my father had a tailoring establishment. I think it was 137 Orange Street, which was just above, at the time, Beverly's Recordings and Ice Cream Parlor. As a child, that place looked like it was as big as Megamart. And, I used to go down there as a little boy. Daddy never stopped me. And my father was a pastor. So I went in that store and just observing the music and the artwork and the jackets and things. And then Daddy moved again and went down 118 Orange Street, up just below Beeston Street. And there was another recording shop. And that was the Upsetters, Lee Scratch Perry. And oh gosh, I was just dabbling in it as a little boy. I think I was single DJ. So my exposure has been early days. And also Daddy used to have fasting every Independence Day. And that was when the float was on the road. So I, as a little boy, used to just steal away from church, walk down to Bumper Hall, where the float was leaving from. And my space was just right beside the music truck.
And they're playing reggae gospel those days?
Oh yes, it was,
Any names? Any names of artists you remember? Any
oh yes,
particular name?
man. Desmond Decker. It was Toots and the Maytals, the Jamaicans, Hooks and Lois.
Singing reggae gospel? Singing reggae gospel?
No, it wasn't reggae gospel, just reggae. And rock steady and all of that. So that was my exposure as a child to reggae. Reggae did just hitting me from all over. But it wasn't popular in church. Those days you kind of stay away from it. But here we are.
Right. Hold that thought. We are up on a break. Listeners, we'll be right back.
Get better coverage for yourself and your family as low as $800 a month. The time by Jane Life Vest from Jane Life Insurance is
7:15.
Hi, I'm Dr. Colleen Beckles, General Manager of the family station Love 101 FM. I want to encourage you to act from a place of love. In everything that you do, think of the golden rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Let's reignite the love.
Shake and go with true shake. Shake and go. Grab a true shake and go. When me have to put in the work, but I'm moving slow. Grab a true shake and go. School time and not joke time. Have to study hard, brain full time. Grab a true shake and go. When we up in the gym, we have to stay healthy and fit. Grab a true shake and go. Shake and go with True Shake. Now also available in 2 delicious flavors: peanut and butter pecan. Packed with protein, calcium, key vitamins, and minerals. So get yours today.
The Real Estate Hub is Jamaica's first and only one-stop shop for everything real estate. With a click of a button, you can search from a wide range of our listed realtor partners to find you the right property in Jamaica. We can get you approved for a mortgage with multiple banks, and we even negotiate with hundreds of attorneys, evaluators, and land surveyors to ensure you get the best deal when buying or selling a property. Apply now at realestatehubja.com.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. And in this, the first watch, we are looking at the fate of Jamaican reggae gospel. And in so doing, we have online the Reverend Dr. Stevenson Samuels, Senior Pastor of the Walton Park New Testament Church of God and Chaplain at UTEC. And we have Mr. Patrick Kitson, singer, guitarist, songwriter, producer, and the founder of Change Gospel Group. Before the break, I was asking the question about any outstanding memories in the early days. Now, Reverend Samuels, still there?
Yes. Yeah, man.
Yeah, I remember you say a song which was done by Insight's Gospel Group, known as Highway to Heaven. You remember that song? There is a... You remember? Right.
Yes, man.
Yeah, man. And there was a DJ section in the last part there. That I remember raising a lot of concerns in Jamaica. Some people say it should not be played. It's not Christian music and all of that.
Yes, yes.
What was your experience those days?
Why, I tell you, when I heard it, I loved it.
me too. Still love it.
We say, well, me and you are one in a brother. It's sweet.
Yeah, man. Still love it, man. Yeah, man.
You know, I think it really reflected the heart of the people, the culture of the people, to talk on a rhythm, you know, and one of the great things about talking on a rhythm is that you actually get in more words than singing on the rhythm. And so there's a certain level of depth to chanting that doesn't, it cannot be represented in singing in terms of the amount of words you get in. But that's another issue. But, you know, so it was just this guy riding the rhythm and talking on the rhythm. And, you know, to me, it's a combination, which is, you know, what dancehall really is, of preaching and music, you know, because you are talking, you know, so you don't have to be able to sing, and you can proclaim, you can declare. It's very proclamation oriented. But
it got a lot of feedback though.
Music is
there. Feedback and pushback at the same time. A lot of feedback,
absolutely.
a lot of pushback. Yes.
Yeah, because part of the thing too with chanting, all right, because that's what DJing is chanting, all right. Part of the thing with chanting is that because you are speaking the words, it is more confrontational than when you sing it. Singing it, you add, you know, flow, you add rhythm, you know, those kinds of a thing. But when you are talking it, it's in your face. so so that's why DJ and dancehall, is so hard on you because you're not just listening to words, you're listening to words spoken at you, just coming at you, and it's a harder thing to handle. So apart from just the culture, is also the nature of chanting, of dancehall, of DJing, And I want you to note, that in that band in Insight was the great Patrick Kitson that we are talking to right now.
Yes.
Patrick was a part of Insight.
Yes.
I mash up the church, and I tried.
Well, Mr. Kitson.
Yes, sir.
Tell us about your being in that band and the pushback that you received, that in some quarters. What did you people do? How did it affect you all?
Okay, so I started to play in Insight when I was 14. And while in high school, that Highway to Heaven thing came about. So the whole idea, the DJ thing, that was my little concept as a little schoolboy. I couldn't just, church not do nothing like it. And I saw it was kind of just creating things. So I wrote down some things, and then I took it to Dennis, and both of us just laughed.
Are you write them lyrics there, Patrick? Are you write the lyrics that suppose Jesus Christ never born?
Yeah, the man.
Everybody here would have gone. Are you write them lyrics there?
Those were just things Dennis and myself put together, but the whole concept was, was my idea, and it was like a national anthem when you go to concert, man.
Yeah,
we get 1 and 2 turn back, church lock when you place and pass and say, no, we have to stop now. We're turning the church into dance hall, and man, I walk out from where off them shoes, but I mean, as a little youth, them thing, them burn me. But burn me bad, but I survived, man, and it's been a journey. It's been a journey to watch out the church as celebrate the reggae.
Yes, Reverend Samuel, how has reggae gospel music evolved and developed over the years? Would you say?
Well, truth is that if I be very honest, I think that over the years the church has embraced more and more, increasingly, the genre of gospel reggae, and I'm delighted about that. I tend to be a little on the edge and a little like 10 steps ahead usually. So even though I've gotten older, sometimes I desire more, which is usually feeling offensive. But I think generally speaking, the church is more accepting of reggae music, and more accepting of the persons who are involved in reggae music. So, for instance, I would be known as a reggae artist, and in fact, some people would label me as the reggae pastor, but I am pastoring in a very significant way in my denomination, which is a relatively large denomination in Jamaica, the New Testament Church of God. So it definitely, and then when you see some other more conservative denominations being more open to it, that's great. One of the things, though, that I would say quickly on this is that even though we're more accepting, and we thank God for stations like Love FM that has themselves become more accepting. Let me just leave it at that. Have become more accepting.
Leave it at that.
It was a little difficult to even have, but thank God. But one of the things I would like to see more is the engagement of the genre in general congregational singing. I don't think we are embracing it enough. We don't mind sitting and watching it on a stage, But when it comes now to when the congregation is going to sing, either when it's a time to sing a hymn or it's time to do choruses like praise, what people call praise and worship, or a little consecration thing, depending on the tradition you're from, at the beginning of a service. No, we not use that. You know, as I call, we not use that. You know, we not make the congregation sing it, but we watch it. I think that's the next stage that we need to get to. And
what about
power? Go ahead.
No, I'm just asking, what about the some of the words though and the beat? I mean, nothing wrong with beat, we all know that. But for some people, the emphasis is on the bass, the rhythm, rather than the words, and sometimes the words that they believe reflect a situation where we are following the world rather than the world following us.
Right. So there's nothing wrong with the beat. In fact, the beat of the bass and the drum might be a more heartfelt thing than these instruments that are playing higher frequency sounds. It's just a matter of frequency. Come on. What's the difference between a bass and a violin? Both are stringed instruments. It's just that one of a lower frequency, and black people can't handle that because it feels too raw. But that feel more, because that look more European, brother. When we are played down in the frequency, lower frequency, it look like it seems to be this doesn't feel godly.
Right. Mr. Kitson, your take on that? The evolving of the gospel music industry in Jamaica in terms of reggae.
Reggae is the heartbeat of the Jamaican nation. Like it, yes or no, that's the way it has gone and has been going for many years. The church is kind of getting into it, We don't, as a congregation, we don't celebrate Reggae Month, which has been February. So, as a child, I had this dream if I should become a pastor, my church name One Drop Church.
One Drop Church of God.
Yeah, man, One Drop of blood.
One Drop Church.
Yeah, I tell you, man, I'm still hoping. I am not called to the ministry that way, but I tell you, man, if we ever start church like at 4 o'clock in the evening, so people can come out and experience this beat that the world has kind of taken it away from us. We complain in Bob, and Bob has gone for so many years and still was at the top. And then, you're wondering who it is going to be. And some guys from California just, study the thing and kind of take it from me. It pained me heart greatly, because, gosh, when I am walking and I hear the drum and bass, I have to, sure. I tell you, man, but it has been difficult for the church, yes. I used to, make me get into it at church, like during reggae month, and we would just be going, and some people don't like it, and it kind of died down. But the church has to pay some attention to the music, a few music. Don't wait and that guy from Australian Hillsong. Don't wait until then give you some songs, and then make it rock out. No, man, that's our own stuff, man.
Well, we have to leave it there, gentlemen. We'll have to leave it there. I want to thank Reverend Dr. Stevenson Samuel, Senior Pastor of the Walton Park New Testament Church of God, and Mr. Patrick Kitson, future pastor of the One Drop New Testament Church of God. God bless you both. Have a wonderful day, gentlemen. Listeners, the morning watch
Thank
return
you.
in just
I
a
have
moment.
a pleasure, man. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Ready for another discussion like this soon.
Bless you.
Yup.
Talk to Jane Bank today to find out about achieving your own sweet home in 30 days. The time by Jane Bank Mortgage is
7:30 and a half.
more savings, more choices.
It's the sale you've been waiting for. The Active Home Center Everything Tiles and More sale is now on in Kingston only. Shop ceramic floor tiles starting at $417 plus GCT. Get incredible savings on new arrival tiles, plus discounts on selected furniture, lighting, and more from Wednesday, September 28th to Tuesday, October 4th. Visit us at 84 Constant Spring Road. Conditions apply. Active Home Center. More savings, more choices.
We have more savings, more choices.
Do you have a heart condition? Your care should be in the hands of our experienced cardiovascular team at Partners Interventional Center of Jamaica. We're one of the leading heart centers for angiogram, stenting, pacemakers, EP studies, and ablation therapy. PICJ has the expertise and latest technology to treat all your heart needs. Call 876-995-7425 or email info@pic-jm.com for appointments. PICJ, your partners for life.
You know what, sweet? The new pack Sweet Living promotion. Win great prizes.
Bedroom set, living room set, kitchen appliance set, plus TVs and monthly cash prizes.
Send in 5 new pack labels. Labels must belong to at least the new pack corned beef, new pack Vienna sausages, and sauces categories.
Below the tagline, new pack, more than just value.
Place your inch in one of the drop boxes at participating outlets or enter by mail. Time to live sweet. Enter the new pack Sweet Living promotion. August 28th to November 19th. See the press for more details. Authorized under Section 58.3 of the Betting, Gaming, and Lotteries Act.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Let's now look at the newspapers to see what Jamaicans and others are saying and doing. In the Gleaner, $4.50 cut in gas and diesel. And then dad under cloud after son slain. Scrutiny over decision to fire in bizarre case of mistaken burglary. So sad. Then in the Observer, Alzheimer's drug shows promise in early results of study. And then Stone Boy says reggae is African. Interesting. Then in Loop News, new tropical depression forms in the central tropical Atlantic. Can you imagine? And then Ambassador Douglas Saunders to remain as cabinet secretary. Those are some of the major headlines in our newspapers. Coming up next, we'll read some of the feedback from our social media question. What story about your life would you like written into a script for a movie or a TV show, and who would play you? Also, please feel free if you want to comment on a discussion we had in the first watch. Leave a comment on our Facebook page and YouTube channel, Love 101 FM Jamaica, or WhatsApp 876-997-3125. We'll be right back.
Sometimes all we need is a listening ear. The listening ear, the counseling, the logical reasoning, and spiritual guidance are what appeal to us. That's why I'm here. I'm Dr. Joan Pinkney, the counselor, your counselor on Love 101 FM, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 10 to 11 p.m. You know you can call on me. I will listen and more. So let's talk about what's bothering you. Anything. Tune in, listen, call in, text or voice message. I'm Dr. Joan Pinkney, counseling psychologist, ready with a listening ear, Tuesdays and Wednesdays, 10 to 11 p.m. right here on the family station, Love 101 FM.
Are you
ready for another exciting show inside Alive 1 to 5 this Throwback Thursday, September 29? Well, join me, your host, Sarah Am, the Chirpy One, for another time to recollect and reconnect. Stick around for prayer blast at 2 o'clock as we ring in the prayer bells of heaven. 2:15 inside Pieces of the Past, we bring you a rewind feature of Jamaica things that were and are no more. Then at 3 p.m., we bring you another episode of Proverbially Speaking, sayings about fame. All this and more will come alive 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. this Throwback Thursday, September 29 on the family station, Love 101.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint. Let's now join Deidre for a look at how our Facebook, YouTube, and WhatsApp friends answer today's question. What story about your life would you like written into a script for a movie or TV show? And who would play you? Deidre.
Okay, so Marcia said she would do the saddest day of her life, which was the day her mom died, and she would play the main character. Merlene said she would do the story about being molested, becoming a party goer, and getting saved in a dance, and she would also play herself. And then this one, we have a voice note from Phyllis.
Well, I would like all of my life to be act out, all of it from the beginning to the end, because it would be a very good drama. You're never tired of watching it and listening to it. Tears and joy. And I don't know who would act it, but I think I would be a good actor to act my life story because I do drama. So because I do drama, I would do it because it's me, and it's because it's me it's happening to. I would do it better than anyone else. My life is a drama.
That was Sister Phyllis. And then Barbara Hamilton said she would do her grade 6 school year and she would also play herself. Those are the comments we have so far.
Yeah, okay. Interesting comments there. And, all our lives in many ways are dramas. Thank you so very much, responders. Okay, as we segue into the second watch, recently there was much discussion about the remake of the animated classic movie, The Little Mermaid. This remake includes a black actress in the lead as Ariel, which was originally seen as a white redhead. It's not a new discussion or concern, as the movie industry is known for using white actors to portray characters who are historically black. When we look at our own storytelling industry, the challenge is to tell our own stories and ensure that they are told our way and get similar exposure. How are we to do that? Is writing our stories the right start? Well, to discuss these issues, we have joining us Ms. Sharanda Farrell, and I hope I have pronounced her name correctly, CEO of Yardbridge Entertainment, actress, director, producer, writer, and Mr. Jeffrey Anderson Gunter, actor, director, producer, philanthropist, teacher of American Sign Language. Good morning to you both.
Good morning. Good morning.
Good morning.
Right. Good to have you on with us this morning as we discuss this interesting topic. Now, let me begin with you, Ms. Farrell. Could you tell us a little bit about Yardbridge Entertainment? I'm intrigued. What is that all about?
Sure. So Yardbridge Entertainment came out of the time when I was living in LA. I went and I did a master's in film and media production. And then I went back to the same school I graduated from, and I taught for a number of years. And in teaching, because it was the New York Film Academy in Burbank, California, and because it's an international university, I realized that most everybody there, everybody who came through my class was from some other country and never Jamaican, and it hit me that everybody have figured out how to tell for them story on that level, and certainly not in my milieu at the time. And me never did I get no Jamaican I pass through my class. You know, I'm a God girl, so I put on a whole heap of praying and fasting and thing. And what I got out of that was the fact that we complain a lot about Hollywood not telling our stories, when realistically it is us who has to take the reign. So Yardbridge was birthed out of a need for Jamaicans and by extension Caribbean people telling their own stories. And our tagline is Caribbean Stories, Global Audiences. So I came home in 2019 to set up a Jamaican arm of the company, and we've been working through some training and some promotions and, you know, creating content as well along the way. That's the shortened version. Come with talk.
Interesting, interesting. Mr. Gunter,
Yes.
why is it important for us to tell our own stories?
Well, firstly, because in the same tradition as the griot, the whole griot system in Africa, it is the most precise and factual way for us to pass on our legacy.
Sorry, Mr. Gunter, what is the
Yeah.
griot system? What's a griot system? For those
Oh,
who
the
don't know.
griot system. That yes, in Africa, the stories are passed down word of mouth. You would have the elders sitting down, and that griot is spelled GRIOT, and you would have all the elders sitting, you know, in a circle, and they would be telling the stories, and the kids would be asking questions, and all the facts would come down because a lot of them at the time would not write, wasn't writing, and that came after. So the griot system was the passage of our stories verbally to our own people. So we now have the capacity to write and film our stories. So we are even in a better place right now to document all our history, which is, you know, I'm currently a part of a film that will be shot in Jamaica next year. It's a docudrama, and it's about a slice of Jamaican life that no one really knew about, you know, concerning Marcus Garvey and a trial that was done there, and Louis Ashenheim, the man who defended him, and they forged a wonderful friendship because of that alliance, and both were fighting for justice, you know, in this particular instance, and they were both Jamaican men. You know, so that's one aspect of our story that we are telling and we are bringing forth, and there's so much more to it.
Interesting. Miss Farrell, especially for the screen, is there a particular art, skill, or style that is necessary? What really is the right way of doing this?
All right, so there is the taught system, which is the Hollywood system, and that's because of the fact that they and I'll say this very tongue-in-cheek, discovered filmmaking, because the history is convoluted with, you know, all of them will for something there, but they were able to set up the system. And because they were able to set up the system, they're the forerunners in how stories are now told filmically and how we watch it and the structure of film and that sort of thing. So for me, for us in our region, it is important for us to understand how our stories are told, learn how their stories are told, take from that what we need to take from that, you know, because there's value in it. There's value in the work that they put in to create the system, and value in how it works right now, because it works, you know, and on a much other system we know how to use. But taking from that system, understanding our own system, like Anansi story for argument's sake, you know, Anansi is a very interesting character in that Anansi can be seen as good or bad. A lot of the Hollywood type flicks characters that are created, you're either good or bad, unless of course you're an anti-hero, but that's a whole other thing, right? And so for us is understanding not just who we are as a people and a culture, but understanding our characters, because our characters, our archetypes are very, very different than the average. So it's for us to take what is there, learn from it, and then add our own thing to it, because our thing ever different. We don't normal, and just add our elements to it and then put it out there. The most important thing I think is that we are telling our own stories and nobody else is controlling our voice, because it is your voice that is in your story. So whether it is a film, it is a podcast, or audio drama, whatever it is.
Yes. Well, interesting. Well, we're up on a break. Listeners, will be right back.
Rise with the sun and face the day with some Lasco instant chocolate. Pull a pack, stir it up. Hot or cold, enjoy the chocolatey goodness any time of the day and unleash instant smiles, instant happiness.
Know what I count, yeah. Hey, me count, you count. Census say all of we count. Hey, you count, me count. Census say all of we count. Hey, we are gonna start from east. Hey, then we reach a west. Hey, the process easy. Yo, please don't just start. Guess what?
Census 2022. The Jamaican census will be conducted between September and December 2022. You go, me go.
From generation to generation, Jamaicans have depended on J&B Bank to make the pride and joy of providing a safe place for their families possible. Now, with no processing fees and no down payment mortgage options, you can open the door to your own sweet home, a legacy to hand to your next generation. Visit jnbank.com to get pre-approved today. J&B Bank will help you find a way.
I'm Tammy.
I'm Wayne.
And we are the Mitchells. Our life is a busy vibe. So Flow Yardan Road is made for our vibe.
Power your everywhere vibe with Yardan Road and get up to 150 megabits per second fiber fast internet at home and fully loaded mobile with unlimited social and YouTube data. Anywhere talking text plus gigs and gigs of any use data. All for a special offer of $4,999 plus GCT. Yardan Road is for the way you live. Flow, Jamaica's network. Visit discoverflow.co. Conditions apply.
Welcome back to the Morning Watch. Thanks for staying with us. I'm your host, Dylan Toussaint, and in this, the second half of the second watch, we're talking about telling our own stories, you know, in terms of writing, in terms of the Caribbean strategy. And we have online Mr. Jeffrey Anderson Gunter, actor, director, producer, philanthropist, teacher of American Sign Language, and Ms. Sharando Ferrell, CEO of Yardbridge Entertainment. She's an actress, director, producer, and writer as well. Welcome back to the program, lady and gentlemen. Thanks for joining us again. All right, Mr. Gunter.
Yes.
Yeah, Mr. Gunter, we're talking about skills before the break. How do we get these skills? Are they honed? Are we born with them? Should we learn them? Should there be training?
Well, you know, getting skills depend on the individual, because none like myself. My mother was behind me in support of anything I did, but she didn't choose what I needed to get into. It was up to me and what I thought I should know and add to my instrument that I would adapt and learn skills to improve, you know, who or what I was going to become. Because early on, I went to Excelsior. So my biggest show was the Simba the Sailor, and I played the Old Man of the Sea in Excelsior way back in the day. I mean, we are talking when, you know, Mr. Powell was headmaster and thing. And and that's where it all started. Needless to say, I'm at the last performance and I'm taking my bow. And I stood up to great applause, and my father was in the back of the room, and he just pointed at me. And I saw him, our eyes make four, and I just started bawl one time, and then they thought I was crying because, you know, of the adulation. And no, it was because my father said me on point, and I knew said that was a whipping coming, you know. And you know, so at the time, you know, getting into the business, getting into acting, you know, was a sissy thing to do. What is that?
Yes.
That wasn't a career we are talking about. And then of course him have to go talk to him friend about what him son getting into. And the last thing we want to say is my son is becoming an actor. So
Yes,
that
yes,
was
yes.
that was a no. So in answer to your question, it's up to the individual and how much they want to learn, and being in the business, learning as much as possible, having as much in your facility will give you more work, which it has for me. I haven't worked a 9 to 5 job in over 50 years.
Wow.
If I can just add a little bit to that, if you don't
Yes,
mind,
yes.
there's always this conversation about talent and skill. And there are certain skills that you can learn, because skills come with a layout of sorts, if you will. Whereas some of us, and I'll comfortably say us, including Jeffrey, are born with certain talents. And when we have the support that we need to help us to learn the skill, then that puts us in a better position. But I think we're evolving, if I can say so comfortably, in Jamaica, but we still don't get to the place yet where parents and sometimes even kids feel comfortable enough to say, I want to be an actor, I want to be a writer, I want to be a director, and to make that a career. And if I might add, that is really where Yardbridge comes in, because my aim, my ambition before me drop out from this space is that writers can survive as a writer. Jeffrey just said him not well a 9 to 5 for the past 50 years. Oh God, come on, man, you know that nice? When you're an
Yeah.
actor, you have a talent and you get a chance to learn the skill, for understand how the thing work, so you can step in a place and you step in prepared and you go, yeah, and me do this and me I done the thing pan the thing where me love to do. So what we
Yeah.
want to do is to have writers be writers, actors be actors, directors be directors, and so on and so forth. So we go through a process of trying to train and give the skills to the folks who are born with the talent, or some who aren't. Because
Right.
sometimes you don't born with the talent, but because you take the time to learn the skills and hone the skills, you do better than the person who was born with the talent.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a combination and a crossover, if you will, of talent and skill. And I'm really hoping that we can get to a space in Jamaica soon enough where the people in the creative arts, the creative industry, can work just in that industry they alone and eat good food and feel good at night time.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
further to that, working with the Jamaican entertainment community and people who want to extend themselves in the business. I think it's crucial, it's vital, and it's why we need to go down and do as much work as possible, casting there in Jamaica, using the Jamaican talent, because we are a talented people. We have so much to offer that the world still has not seen. But I'm trying to make it so that people coming out of Edna Madley and other places, UA and so forth, they can aspire to do something that is on the island already. Not necessarily
Yes.
have to leave to go anywhere to do something and get I want them to do what they need to do on the island and have people hear about them and come to the island to see
At
who
you.
them is, see who they are and what they're doing, because we have so much to offer, so much. I mean, people come here in Los Angeles from there, and I do my best to get them
Yes.
into the fabric of what Hollywood is. But that is only the stepping stone to go back. I have gone back to Jamaica and directed so many things with Basil Dawkins, etc. And I'm coming back there with Justice Delayed next year to hire locally and to do the production there. And that will be something else that the world will see in telling our stories.
As you
See, that's
mentioned
why the
about the
collaboration
stories.
is important. Sorry, I mean to hug the conversation, but that's why the collaboration is important. Because Jeffrey's there, there's certain resources that Jeffrey will have access to. I used to be there, so I have a sense of what is happening there. I'm here now, so I have a sense of what's happening here, which is why the collaboration is so important in order to push the industry forward. So, I'm actually in an exciting time now, because there's so much more that's happening in terms of us telling our own stories, writing our stories, acting our stories, directing our stories, so the collaboration
In
is paramount.
as you mentioned, writing stories, Miss Farrell, what would you say to those who believe and would state that their life story and experiences so far are not as interesting, intriguing, exciting as others. They don't have a story about no shutter business and cheating and ghetto life. And just live
Yeah,
a
but see,
mundane, boring life. Should they be
story is
included
story, you
in
know.
the conversation?
Now, man, story is story, you know, and you have all kind of genres. If we're talking about film, just for argument's sake, you have a whole heap of genre. You know, everything is not action and shoot up, shoot up. There are love stories, you know, there are dramatic stories. There are stories about loss. There are stories about finding yourself. There are stories about man versus the environment, man versus man,
Mm,
man versus God. There's a
mm,
bunch of stories that can be told. What I think we lack in this moment is the understanding of how to tell those stories and how to craft the stories in a way to make it interesting and viable and sellable. Because let's not get it twisted, it's called show business for a reason. So it's not just about, okay, me I gonna teach you how to do this. I need to teach you how to eat after you learn how to do this. You know, so it's a matter of learning how to craft. And if I can just add a very careless plug right here, there's a writing course that my company is offering now called The Right Story. And we have Kelly R. Griffin, who wrote for House of Pain. She's writing for Karma now on Netflix, and she did a bunch of other things. She has agreed to lend her talent to us for 8 weeks to carry 10 writers through the process of learning
mm,
how to
mm.
structure story and characters and that sort of thing. And I think that's where we need to start. So it's not about not having a good enough story. It's about having the skill, to know how to coin the story, the characters, and tell the story so it's interesting and viable.
And everyone has a story.
Exactly.
Everybody, I don't care who they are, everybody has a story. The trap is to start comparing your story to other people's story. And I tell
Mm-hmm.
my students, I tell them, when you come on the stage, you can't think about somebody else's work or emulate anybody, because then you're not doing the work. You have to come from your soul, your spirit, the thing that drives you, your passion. You have to come from there to convey what it is that the director wants to see, so that the audience can believe what it
Mm-hmm.
is you're offering. Because that process is not simple, but you cannot look at somebody else and say they do it this way. They cannot do your work. each
Mm.
Everybody has their own work that they can identify and do. And what Sharonda does, I can't do, and vice versa. And
And
what
vice
Dylan
versa.
does, yeah, they
Mm.
can't. You know what I mean? So everybody has to discover what it is they have innately, and it has to come. That passion will drive you into what you want to do.
All right. Well, as we wind down this story of this morning, yeah,
Very
I can't.
good.
Well, I trying. I'm learning. I'm learning. Um, if everybody has a story, can you walk us through the sort of the process or stages that person should go? The recommendation, stage one, stage two, in developing and producing this story, Miss Farrell.
Well, the first thing I would say is try to identify somebody who is in the business, because again, there's a structure to getting things done. But how we do it is there's a development first. So there's the
Mm,
idea of, okay, what's the story you want to tell? The theme of the story, we have a log, what we call a log line, which is like 2, maybe 3 lines of whatever the story is about. And you go, oh, okay, so this is the story I want to tell. And we move from a log line to working out a synopsis and then a treatment, and then we move on to an actual script and then casting and so on and so forth. So the first step really is to identify somebody who understands the business, who knows what they're doing, and they can guide you through that initial stage of developing your idea and your story.
all right.
Jeff, am I
And
right?
Yes, man,
so
definitely.
go
But
ahead. You want to add anything to that? Go ahead.
yes. As you get ideas about anything, jot them down, record them, whatever. Compile all your thoughts, because before you know it, you'll go back to those compilations and you will discover a story
Aye.
that is being told and you didn't know. So
Mm.
don't worry about how you're going to structure whatever. And so, no, just write everything down. Michael Jackson used to do that, because he would get an idea for a song, and wherever he is, he has to find
Mm,
something to write down and so forth. And then later on, he'll get back to it. But Don't trust your memory all the time because your thoughts are going at a mile a minute. So every time you get something that is significant into your structure, write it down. Write it down, and then
Okay.
later on you compile it. Very quickly though, in answer to
Yes.
your question about the Little Mermaid, I actually
Quick.
did walla. Yeah, I did walla on that thing. Anybody can do anything that is fictional and make it their own.
Okay, well said. All right, everybody has a story. I want to thank you both for joining us. Very interesting, very informative, very intriguing, and of course, safe journey, Sharando, on the road. See you driving.
Yeah. Yes, I drop off my son. Thanks.
All right, thanks for joining us. Bless you.
All right, take care.
All right, thank you, listeners,
All
for
right.
being with us.
Yes, man. Yes.
For information,
Justice delayed next year, 2023. Join the legacy.
For information, I would get copies of this program. Call our production department at 876-968-95967. This has been the Morning Watch. Thanks to our producer, Kathy Gale, and our guests. Please join Mr. Stokely Marshall next week as he continues to look at the issues of the day. I'm Dylan Toussaint. Hand you back to Love in the Morning with DJ Parchment.
The NHF